And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to ESL Open Cup Asia number 222. Welcome to the grand finals. It's been a long event here. We've been working through the upper and the lower half of the bracket. We've had our staples come in. We've had some newer faces, some returning military players like Rogue, some new faces like Raynor as he's traveled to Korea. But now we're down to 2 players remaining in this tournament. The grand finals between our Zerg and our Terran. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on how you think the series will unfold and who you believe is going to be this week's champion. Will it be our Zerg or our Terran? Up to you to decide. Predictions are open, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Post Youth, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Talent Esports. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, going for a proxy across the map. Oh my god, we have representing Cloud9, GuMiho. Here we go, going for a proxy 2 racks across the map. Something you don't see too often, but I like this. Okay. So, we're loading into Post Youth. Post Youth is known for its greed, as you have a free pocket base. We've seen players time and time again cut corners on this map. Dark is going for a hatch gas pool, I imagine. Meanwhile, GuMiho going for that proxy 2 racks. We'll see if he's able to break on through. Again, it's going to be proxy 2 racks marine. Bunkers that may be on the way as well. Overlord is going to be able to get eyes on this though. Dark, he does scout. Behind this though, it's going to be a hatch pool opener into a third base. Delayed gases here by Dark. He was going for the gold. Oh my, wait, what? The drone was actually, it looks like scouting towards the left hand side, but we do manage to get on top of this. Dark does confirm the proxy, and it will be forced back. I could be mistaken, but I think the drone was moving in to expand and take the third base. Bunker is on the way. Yeah, again, this gases opener would have been designed to throw down the third, and the drone is denied. So not a bad start here for GuMiho. There we go. We're leapfrogging forward here with our bunkers. Boys are being pulled. I believe we are within range of the spawning pool. But here we go. With our boy pool, we're going to be able to get on top of some of these SCVs Marines. They are able to kite away. So far, so good. The Marines, they get trapped. The bunker does finish. Ooh, drones are going down. GuMiho is snowballing out of control. The drones are trapped. They're trapped outside the bases. Bunker, the main, does finish, but we barely have any mining going on. As Dark, he's trying to camp the production. He's going for the Marines. Going for whatever he can. Dark, he does slip away. He's going across the map, but we have a full wall of here back at home. The Lings, they won't be able to achieve much. And Dark, he's in a rough position. He has, actually, never mind. He's got the gold. True. He does have the gold minerals here, so that does make up for his lack of workers, for his lack of mining. That is what, 6 drones across the map. He's mining through the minerals. Oh my god, he's so smart. I forgot about this, but the wall is solid, but we're breaking in. We're trying to, but alas, the Marines, they do make it here. They do make it back home, and we clean up those drones. The mineral wall is solid. 1 more patch there. 5 more minerals on that patch would have been enough. CC on location. GuMiho is free to expand here without any problems, without any issues. And I think I want to give the edge to GuMiho overall. Dark, he's trying to come back. Still zoned out of his own main with those 4 drones. And he's just trying to resaturate himself. I like this. It looks like he's mining through these middle patches, so it looks like we might be able to squeeze on in. Up. Dark, he does barely manage to get in. 1 drone goes down. Whew. But he does get back into his own main. That does create an opening for GuMiho as well. But Dark, he's trying to stabilize here on his 2 bases. Meanwhile, GuMiho settling into his own 2 as well. Oh yeah, and there are just so many Marines, and this may just be too much. Yeah, the mass Marine here from GuMiho. We're going to be able to clean up every single Ling and the Queens as well. GuMiho achieving so much with this initial build. Gets a Queen. There's 2 left. Boys are being pulled. Rough losses there for Dark. Dark, he should be able to clean this up. But this was a rough trade. Dark, he does survive. GuMiho back at home. Able to Maynard over and saturate his gold minerals. And now Dark is getting into his link speed. Is moving out. Again, this is kind of a weird game state because the Proxy Durax wasn't able to deny the natural base because it's in the main. So it's just such a weird dynamic here. Overlord does go down. Big supply block there for Dark. Ooh, a brutal supply block. Overlords are on the way. Dark moving out. GuMiho going for a third CC before Starport. Very economic follow-up here out of GuMiho. And the Raxes are floating back home. Marines are making their way as well. We're getting into a longer game. And it's just a really weird game state as we're going double R. Oh, he's being so greedy. Oh my god. Hon Mono, is that you? Este Hon Mono. Double armory after the third CC, all before the starport as well, as we're getting into mech, of course, with that second factory. Ay, ay, ay. So it is going to be mech, double armory, double upgrades, a lot of greed here out of GuMiho. But honestly, he can get away with this. Like, there's no breaking this 2-base setup. It's not happening. It is too solid here. And GuMiho doesn't even come back home with those Marines. He's going for the third. Queens are busy. Queens are out of position. And that's going to be a cancel. There's no saving this third base. It is going to be going down. A good stutter stepping here out of GuMiho. There's the cancel. And GuMiho is going to be able to waddle away. Dark still stuck on 2 bases. You can see here that Dark is trying to take the gold base to catch up. I mean, he's double expanding. He desperately needs a gold. Or desperately needs a base. Good positioning here out of GuMiho. He does get against the wall. Yeah, minimizes his surface area. Trades as best he can. Will be cleaned up. Doesn't trade too poorly. Behind this, Dark throwing down a Roach Warren. It is going to be Roach play out of Dark. He hasn't seen much across the map. Did see the Hellions. GuMiho now taking his third. Is taking his third base. There we go. 3 more factories on the way. The last time we saw or we casted on this map, it was Dark versus Oliveira. Oliveira also played mech on this map. But if you remember, Oliveira went Mass Cyclone. He went for a handful of attacks and purely Cyclone on this map. I'm curious how GuMiho plays this out, as the Cyclones are getting caught. A big catch there from Dark. At the same time, Hellies, they bust into the main base. A blue flame is done, and drones are going to get roasted. The barbecue is real. Good split here out of Dark. Does minimize his losses, but is still taking some big hits here. 9 workers go down. 10 workers even. 11 drone kills in total. 11 drones for 6 Hellions. Ay, ay, ay. Dark, he's still recovering. Now, he has taken the gold, and this is a way to bounce back economically. Like, this is going to help Dark quite a bit. But he needs to saturate this base as quickly as possible, as he is taking another hatchery. Behind this, we're getting into 2-2. Again, the upgrades for GuMiho are insane. Tank production, Hellion. Yeah, as you can see here, as opposed to Oliveira, who went Mass Cyclone, GuMiho is going for a more traditional form of Hellion tank. Does have a couple of Cyclones, but only a handful just to be safe, just to have an army to be secure. And GuMiho is just mainly relying here on Hellions, tanks, and I imagine getting into more like Viking Live later on down the line, potentially. As I say that, I'm going to have to eat my words, as we are getting back into a handful of Cyclones with those reactor factories. Behind this, Infestation Mit's on the way, Nidus Swarm as well. Dark has the potential to go into Swarm Host. He has a tech for it. As Dark, he has recognized that it is mech. And Swarm Host can do quite well here, especially against a tank-heavy composition. 4th base is being taken by GuMiho. And the game is going to be settling from here. We're going to be calming things down at least a little bit. Dark getting up to almost 80 workers. They're the Swarm Hosts that we spoke about. Again, with the completion of the Infestation Pit, we do have Swarm Hosts. And Dark has a lot of potential with said Swarm Hosts. Likewise, you may be looking at the supply, you may be thinking, hold up, Dark, he is up in army supply here. Like, that's good, right? I mean, it's inflated supply with roaches, not the most efficient army. But there are only a handful of tanks in position. There we go, Swarm Host towards the left-hand side, or Knights towards the left with the Swarm Host, roaches towards the right. Can Dark break the defenses of GuMiho? Can he break through? Hurricane Engines on the way. Nidus does complete. Another Nidus being thrown down on the right-hand side is spotted. Swarm Hosts are coming out. How many Swarm Hosts? 13. 13 Swarm Hosts who do get into the mineral line. There is a tank in position. We're going to get a handful of SCVs. Cyclones, they rotate over. A good cleanup. Lose 5 workers. That is acceptable damage. Acceptable losses for GuMiho, I should say. As that could have been so much worse. Nidus swarms are being shut down. Behind this, we're getting to more Hellions. Again, this is a different style compared to what we saw from Oliveira. Oliveira, he was just going pure mass Cyclone. Here, Dark, GuMiho is incorporating more tanks, more Hellions. Still a good Cyclone count, though. As we get a massive Locust Wave here coming in from our hand side. Dark, he does catch the tanks. 1, 2, 3 tanks go down. The Cyclones that were out of position. GuMiho caught with his pants down a little bit there. Losing 3 tanks and quite a bit of mining time as well. Again, it's so important for the Hellion Cyclone-based army to keep up with the rotations and to keep up with the Locust Waves. GuMiho, he needs to be proactive here. Behind this, Dark, he's taking up into melee upgrades. Ultra Den is on the way. Or Ultra Cavern, sorry. Locust Wave coming in. Same time, Cyclone Rumbai gets caught out. Locust Wave does manage to get a tank, not bad. Gets 1 tank. And a Hellion, not much else. But really, Dark, he's just buying time. Dark, he's containing his opponent on 4 bases, buying time and teching up into the rest of these upgrades. We have the Spire on the way for Broodlords. Ultra upgrades, melee, adrenal. Dark happily mining, building up a bank. It's on GuMiho to break out. It's on GuMiho to eventually break free from this contain. Oh, Cyclones are a lot of losses here for GuMiho. A lot of these Cyclones are going to be going down. Files as well on the tanks. We do manage to kite through. We're getting some of the Ravagers. Not bad here. But again, these have been some too many losses here for GuMiho. Bleeding out too much. Dark, he can replace this. GuMiho is having a harder time. Locust Wave coming in once again. Towards that 3rd. Oh, they were on a move. Very unfortunate there. That is going to give GuMiho a little bit more time. As the Locust Wave does take down the tank. Gets a tank, a couple of SCVs, gets the turrets as well. 3-3 on the horizon here. There's that Greater Spire for Broodlords for GuMiho. Sorry, for Dark. GuMiho, meanwhile, he's almost remaxed. He's just building up his army once again. Looking at the units tab, we have 8 tanks, 19 Cyclones, so 22 Cyclones now. And just doubling down on Mass Cyclone. I said before in the Oliveira series that I wasn't fully convinced by the Mass Cyclone with its changes, but we'll see. We'll see if GuMiho can excel where Oliveira didn't. As we manage to collapse here on some of these tanks, 2 tanks go down. Again, Dark has been doing such a great job at just keeping the tank out low. I don't know if you noticed, but every Locust Wave, he gets 1, 2, or 3 tanks. And that does mean that the backbone of this army is that much weaker. As we are breaking out. Ultras are on the way. GuMiho is going to be able to get on top of this core base. The gold is going to be forfeit. At the same time, a big link counterattack. We get on top of the tank. We get into the mineral line. A lot of damage being dealt here. They're only plus 1 melee links, so it takes a while to break through. But GuMiho, he retreats. I like this. I don't think it would have been wise for him to keep on pushing. I think that's what Dark wanted. Locust Wave coming in again. I think we want the tanks. And we're going for them. Alas, we're not going to be able to get them there. In the end, GuMiho, he does hold. Is breaking out. Is maxed. Dark, meanwhile, investing into all these ultras. The ultra upgrades have all completed. We have Kindness Plating and ultra speed. Cyclones are moving out. Where's that Locust Wave? Ultras coming in on their own, and the Ultras are going to be going down. Expensive losses there. Roach Ravager, it just was mistimed. Big loss for Dark, and Dark, he's in trouble. What was that? 3, 4 Ultras going down, and now the Locust Wave comes in, but again, it's all disjointed. We needed everything together. Locust Wave gets cleaned up. Roach Ravager gets caught out. GuMiho is gaining ground, and he will catch top left. Hatchery is falling. Again, Dark, he needs a moment here to stabilize. To take it slow. Going for an ultra counterattack. Another base does go down. Once again, another ultra is trying to hold on. Dark, these are expensive losses here. The ultras are going to get picked up. Yeah, again, ultras on their own. They can be kited to death here. They do manage to get on top of some of these tanks. Not bad. Not a bad trade here. We do get the tanks. The ultras are gaining ground. Oh, but here comes that mass cyclone. Yeah, big lock-ons coming in. And look at these ultras melt. As we manage to get 3 of them. At the same time, though, GuMiho is also his tanks. The tanks have gone down. Locust Wave comes back in. And yes, Dark did lose some bases, but he still has center right and bottom right. And this army from GuMiho, he doesn't have a bank. He barely has an army. He needs these minerals here. Looking at the unit side, we have 1 tank left. Again, the tank count was completely reset. Big pickups, and GuMiho is running out of steam. Lings are coming in for a surround. Ultras from behind as well. And this is all that GuMiho has left. Ultras from behind from almost every angle. The kiting is good here, but we're just bleeding out too much, and GuMiho, he cannot afford these losses. That's the problem. His economy just is not good enough. And there we go. The Locust Wave comes in. We get on top of that Thor. GG gets called. Dark, he breaks through, and Dark will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Honestly, GuMiho wasn't playing too badly. Like, GuMiho, he was doing quite well for himself. Slowly, meticulously taking a base, pulling back, killing 2 bases. I do think that the turn started to table on GuMiho when the initial Ultra Wave came out. When the Ultras came out and when GuMiho was caught out on the map. And I think that was the moment where he lost like 8 tanks. He lost like 8 tanks out on the map. And again, that tank count was something that he was never able to rebuild. Because of that, he was vulnerable back at home. And Dark, he was able to break through. Able to break through in the end. And sure, Dark, he was losing bases, but Dark was not losing drones. He was able to evacuate, able to preserve most of his workers in the end. With that, GG, well played. Oh, my apologies, there we go. GuMiho. Dark does take the first game. GuMiho taking a loss there, but it's a best of 5. Plenty more games ahead of us. So I'm just fixing up the in-game score. Dark does take a lead. And even though we had mech there on post-youth, I feel like mech is very map-oriented. It's very much like we've seen a lot of mech on post-youth, not expecting to see too much more of it. Depending on the map. Here we go. Here we go, as we are going to be working towards game number 2 on Site Delta. Let's go. Players are ready, lobby has been set, and we are loading on in. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our South Korean Zerg player. Our Red Zerg leading the series 1-0, representing Talon Esports. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Cloud9. Down in the series, looking to bounce back, it is GuMiho. Here we go. GuMiho's the man. He's crazy, but he's crazy. Yeah, I'm really excited. Again, the new patch is still relatively... It is new, in the name there. And we still have seen some players experiment and be quite adventurous with their play in a lot of these newer maps, in a lot of their play styles, and I'm really excited to see where the meta settles. What I'm referring to specifically is mech, right? The Cyclone was nerfed quite a bit in the most recent patch, and because of that, again, I'm not fully convinced in the new Cyclone. You can see that it can kite, but for those that are unaware, the big change was that the Cyclone now breaks its lock-on and it takes 3 seconds to re-lock on from there. Before, it could re-lock on instantly, which basically meant that last patch, the Cyclones, they could kite for days. Like, the kiting potential for Cyclones was insane in the last patch. Now, less so. And I feel like you could even see that when it came to the dynamic between the Cyclones and the Roach Ravager, the Cyclones and the Ultras as well. It does very much so impact the DPS of the mass Cyclone based army. So I'm curious if Terran players are still going to try and make use of it. It's possible that even with the nerf, it's still viable. It's possible that even with the nerf, mass Cyclone can still do well, and even though there's some counterplay, like, it's still a composition that can be made use of. Or I'm curious if it falls by the wayside and we embrace something else instead when it comes to how mech works. So yeah, we'll see. I'm going to be looking at players like GuMiho, looking at players like Maru, like Ryung, with how they do adapt their mech. As, yeah, we'll see. See how that does play out. Oliveira as well. Meanwhile, we do have the first Reaper getting across the map. Again, it was a standard opener out of Dark, going Hatch Gas Pool. Meanwhile, GuMiho going for a Rax expand into the factory. Oh. That is not normal. That is a 1-1-1. Okay, so GuMiho, he's going for a 1-1-1 instead, going for a delayed third CC, a very aggressive build here out of GuMiho, very committed. It is not all in by any means, but we are going to be taking a blow to our economy here in favor of aggression instead. Again, these 1-1-1 builds are more of a rarity, and I imagine there's going to be an add-on swap to get into Banshee production. Tech Lab is finishing up, and the rack should be switching with that starboard. There it is. There's the add-on swap into Banshees. Okay. Meanwhile, Dark is just droning, happily droning, taking his third base, saturating himself, settling on in. Cloak is being researched by GuMiho. And again, because we're delaying the third base, this needs to get damage done. This has to pay for itself, and then some. Meanwhile, Dark going for a very fast Roach Warren. That is a 3-minute 30 Roach Warren here for Dark. Very fast, very aggressive. And is most likely setting up for a Roach push. This is ideal for GuMiho. GuMiho with the 1-1-1. Banshees, they wreak havoc here on Roaches as he's diving into the natural. GuMiho, he races past those queens, gets into the mineral line, going for the drones. Nice split out of Dark. Does split up his drones. We'll be losing 4 of them. But does minimize his losses as GuMiho, yeah, he won't be able to get back in. 4 drone kills, 4 drones for 4 Hellions. Not ideal here for GuMiho, as he does deny some mining time. As a result as well, GuMiho did not get into the main, he did not scout the Roach Warren. Roaches are amassing. Thankfully for GuMiho, again, he has Banshees. But one Banshee's across the map. The other Banshee may come out just in time. But we are pushing. Darky is pushing. Now, this is not an all-in, but this is still a committed move-out. As Darky did delay his drone production in favor of this. Banshee does arrive. Oh, the Spore not quite done. Yeah, the Cloak Banshees, they catch Dark off guard. Hellions, they come back in as well. They're going for the drones. They try to herd them in. 5 more workers go down. Hellions are being shut down, but we're getting a lot of damage done here with the Banshees. As the Banshees are wreaking havoc, here comes Dark though with his own roaches, and what is there at home to defend? This one Banshee will eventually kill everything, but the DPS here is so low, the attack rate is so low. SCVs are falling. Oof. And this is becoming a bit much. We get 9, 10 SCVs. 10 worker kills on Mule, denied mining time. Again, this is going to be cleaned up, but this is a good amount of counter damage. As we get 12 workers in total. And as the dust does settle, Dark, he's got a slight worker lead. He has spores up and running. Lair is done. Roach speed is on the way. We have mobile detection in the Overseer. And Dark, he's stabilizing. GuMiho is still recovering. As he's continuing Banshees. Wait, what? GuMiho, he's not stopping Banshee production as he's going to be losing one. Big pick off, and we can see why. Double armory. It is going to be mech once again, but it is going to be a bit of a different variation of mech. As we are investing into Hyperfight Rotors. What does this tell us? This tells us that we intend to make more Banshees. So a very Banshee heavy composition. I mean, the first Banshee did amazingly, but the second and the third have left much to be desired. Here we go. We're continuing that Banshee production. I do like the Spire. Spire is on the way here for Dark. Mutas, I do think they can do well here against this kind of composition. Again, we're going for a very Hellion heavy composition with Banshees. Just now getting into the rest of our factories, ideally getting into Cyclones, hopefully, for those Mutas. As we do manage to get into the main base, we're going for the Queen. Managed to get a couple of drones. 1, 2 drones go down. Ooh, we get a Queen as well. Good control here out of GuMiho. Meanwhile, more factories on the way. No additional starports, still only 1 starport for the Banshees. Yeah, we're just settling in, back at home. Mutas are on the horizon, and we have not scouted the Spire. These Mutas, they have so much potential here.
Upgrade complete.
They are moving out. Well, they are amassing. And GuMiho is still working on his production. So, what is his anti-air? 2 Cyclones. These 2 Cyclones, that's all that shoots up. Uh-oh. We don't have anything else. These Mutas, they may just look to end the game. No turrets, no Marines, no additional Cyclones. There we go. We're making 3 Cyclones at a time. Now 4. They're coming, but the Mutas are here. Ooh, we pull the workers away. We have those 2 Cyclones to defend. Dark, he's going to avoid them. He's going to respect them. Even though he honestly could try to pounce on them instead. Get even more SCVs in the main base. Banshees, they have to counterattack. That is a lot of Banshees. 1 Muta goes down for 13 SCVs. Banshees, they get across the map. We have a wall of Queens. And detection. Oh my god, that's 15 SCVs. Oh my god. The Mutas, they have more than paid for themselves. The Banshees, they were able to get 2 drones across the map, but the Queens were a little bit too good, a little bit too solid. Dark does defend. Oh, the Cyclones, Bob. Exactly. Let's go. We're getting into the Cyclone production here. Behind this, though, we have the Infestation Pit. Swarm Hosts are on the way. I'm not too fond of Swarm Hosts against Battle Mech. Against, like, a more tank-heavy style, it's great, as we saw in the last game. Against more against, like this Battle Mech composition of Hellion, Cyclone, Banshee, it can be difficult. It can be difficult to make these Swarm Hosts work. Here we go. Nidus is on the way. Mutas, they do bust in towards that 3rd base. Locust Wave going to be moving out, but it runs into the Cyclones. We're able to kite away. As we can see here, this Battle Mech style just cleans up these Locusts so easily. Mutas doing what they can. We do manage to get into the natural, though. Somehow, some way, we get in. 13 SCVs. Not insignificant. Very nice damage dealt. Behind this, we're going back into Lingbane Roach Ravager. Hydra Den is on the way. We cancel the Bailey Nest for the Hydra Den. Interesting choice. Interesting choice here by Dark. Still making use of these mutas. Honestly, he could lose these mutas and it's fine at this point. He does want to get rid of them. Doesn't want to throw them away, but he wants to trade as efficiently as possible. Leading out that Overseer. Getting the hell out of there with those mutas. Meanwhile, we're getting ready for another Locust Wave. You can see the Banshees at map control. They do shut down the Nidus Worm. The Locust Wave is a little bit far out, and we'll see what we can get done. We at least deny mining. Deny mining. We get the turrets, we get a depot, and we get an SCV. That's something. So here we go. GuMiho is going to be pushing. Jesus, how many Banshees? He's on 6. 6 Banshees here. Ling Roach trying to come in from behind. But the Mass Cyclone may be too much. We're breaking through the Lings, getting on top of the Roaches. We need a defensive Locust Wave. And Dark, he's in trouble. And there it is. Locust Wave is coming out just in time. Moving past those Hellbats towards the Cyclones, giving Dark a little bit of time. Ooh, as the Mutas are chasing down the Banshees. A Locust Wave trying to keep up. Ooh, does come in. But there may just be too many Cyclones here. We're breaking through the Roaches against, again, the Locust Wave just not adding anything here. And the base is falling. Again, against Battle Mech, Swarmhosts, they struggle so much. They're essentially dead supply. And the Cyclones were snowballing out of control. Dark leading out 11 drones. Roach is doing what they can. Well, they do come out just in time. Not bad pickoffs here from Dark. Does manage to get a couple of those Cyclones. Does hold on. The Banshee's still wreaking havoc. We have Corruptors on the way. Hydra upgrades in production as well. I'm not sold on the Hydra composition. Not gonna lie. Oh, the Swarmhost. You get 2. Actually get a couple of the Swarmhosts as well. And yeah, Dark, he's hurting. He's hurting so much right now. More drones going down to the Mass Banshee, or to the 1 Banshee. Getting 4 more drones. Getting 5 more drones. At the same time, we catch those Roaches. God, we still had Banshees left over. And Dark is struggling. Yeah, we go for those Infestors. We land a Fungal. Pretty nice Fungal, actually. Did lock down a lot of those Cyclones. Dark getting the best trade he could have hoped for. Swarmhosts are coming in. Fungal once again. Do land another Fungal, and Dark, he is holding. But what I'm most concerned about is the workers. GuMiho, he's on 82 SCVs plus mules. Dark is on 58 workers. He's on 58 drones. Barely has an economy, and over time, GuMiho is going to outscale Dark. GuMiho's just done far too much damage. And Dark, he's barely holding on. Again, GuMiho achieving so much more here with this more active style of mech, with this battle mech, compared to the last game. And Dark just has been unable to keep up. Again, like, I did like the Mutas. The Mutas, they did very well for themselves. But the Swarmhost follow-up, that was lackluster. We've seen here that these Swarmhosts have been having such a hard time harassing and also defending. The investment into Hydras is also questionable. Hydras, they're not ideal against Cyclone. Locust Wave is coming in. GuMiho cleaning it up. Is going to be able to clean it up here. Yeah, as we are just catching out a handful of units here of Dark at the same time. Dark is going for a counterattack. Does deny base. But honestly, in a head-on engagement, you have to favor GuMiho. If the main armies clash, then GuMiho is going to just snowball out of control, and that's exactly what's happening here. Cleans up the Hydras, cleans up the Roaches. Across the map, Dark, he's trying to harass, he's trying to force GuMiho to turn around. He is actually breaking through the reinforcements. But the main army is not being stopped. That's the reality here. So Dark cannot keep up with this. Losing another and another base. GG gets called. GuMiho snowballs out of control. And GuMiho ties up the series 1-1. GG. Let's go. GG, well played. Whew, GuMiho does bounce back here. Again, just adjusting his style, going for something a little bit different, something a little bit quirkier, going for a bigger Banshee investment. You saw how well the Banshees performed as well, even with the mutas on the field. And likewise, punishing the aggression and the move-outs of Dark. And again, Dark just maybe was on a little bit of autopilot. As we mentioned before, like, Swarm Hosts are ideal against more tank-heavy compositions, not against his active style, so like, it was a big investment that didn't really pay for itself. Because of that, it also slowed down any further tech. If Dark did want to go into Hydra Viper or into Infestors, that was all delayed, that was all put on the back burner there, and yeah, GuMiho just achieved too much. And with that, we're getting into a tied up series. We're getting into game 3. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Dynasty, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Talon Esports, being forced into a tied-up series, but looking to bounce back. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Cloud9. Tying up the series 1-1, it is GuMiho. Here we go. Quality SA, Swarm Host and Infestoride incoming. I don't think that's a good composition. Swarm Host, they have their place against Mech, and they have their place against Chargel, Archon, Protoss-based compositions and PvZ. That's like the only instances that you get to see Swarm Host, and that hasn't changed in the new patch. Has not changed. Again, as you saw in that last game, they do have blaring weaknesses, especially against more mobile compositions. Talking specifically about the Swarm Host. So as a result, we did see GuMiho get out of hand. And now we're getting into... Is this going to be... Wait, what? It's going to be a hatch... Sorry, it's going to be a pool hatch... Sorry, a hatch pool hatch expand here from Dark. A gasless opener, essentially. Gasless opener. Very greedy here on Dynasty. Now, we're loading into Dynasty for the first time tonight. This is a very commonly vetoed map. I imagine the only reason why we're seeing this map is because it's a best of 5. So we get, you know, we get less vetoes available. We get more maps picked. Very greedy build. This map has a pocket goal base. As you can see here, GuMiho going for a rack expand, going right for the goal base as well. And typically, it's very difficult for the Zerg player to punish this, just because early on, Ling Bane can't really do anything about denying mining time here. Meanwhile, Stalkers, Adepts, Marines, Hellions, Reapers, they can, as their range units, punish the goal base early on in their respective matchups. As a result, I would not be surprised if Dark does go into Roaches again, into a Roach heavy composition. Meanwhile, I'm curious about GuMiho. One, we have a boosted economy early on that usually leads into Mech, and we have seen nothing but Mech from GuMiho, but I would love to see something else. You know, GuMiho, yes, he is maybe one of the most renowned players to embrace Mech that's an active pro player amongst the Terrans. I mean, sure, Clem, Byun, and Maru all play Mech as well, but not as often as GuMiho. Not as prevalent. But that's not saying that he can't play Bio, and I would love to see some Bio at some point in this series from GuMiho. At some point. As GuMiho is going to be backing off. Does confirm the gold, rotating around. The Queen is in position to protect this mineral line at least. You can see the Reaper being a nuisance here, forcing back some of those drones. Ooh, once again, and dancing with the army, and yep, there we go, Roach Horns on the way. This does make sense, just because of the nature of these gold bases. Roaches do make plenty of sense here from Dark. As he is skipping Link speed, just now getting into his gases. Getting into his Roach Way. Speaking of bio, let's go! That is Stim on the horizon. Beautiful. Let's go. We have Stim on the way from GuMiho. He does get a kill here on the drone. And it is going to be bio. That's all I wanted, Bob. It is going to be 3 CC before starport. Again, because we're on Dynasty, that is a 3rd CC on location for GuMiho. So greedy, something you would never see on any other map, but you can see on Dynasty. Behind this, we're getting into 2 more Vaxes. Big delay here on the starport production, so a very, very aggressive style from GuMiho. We saw Oliveira try something similar to this on Golden Aura, and he was just punished so hard. But that was a smaller map. That was a greedier playstyle from Oliveira on that map specifically. Again, here on Dynasty, you can get away with that as roaches are moving out. GuMiho with the concave. Solid concave here out of GuMiho. Does shut down that roach, or does delay the push, I should say. More roaches are waddling across the map. Behind this, Dark is droning. Dark is working on his lair, working on that next step. And GuMiho is just buying time here as Dark does peel off a couple of roaches to harass and to deny mining here at the mineral line. Again, this is the power of roaches on Dynasty. You can do what Terran and Protoss can do and also deny mining time. As Dark has gained map control. Ooh, and this is getting a lot of damage done. No dead workers, but so much lost mining time. As Marines are stimming in, late reaction out of Dark. We'll lose 1 roach. 1 roach goes down. Hellions, they pie past the roaches. They're going straight for the gold base. There is 1 roach to defend. We could ignore it though. We could go right for that worker damage. Yeah, good target firing there out of GuMiho. Gets 2 drones. It's like the one bouncer for Dark to protect this mineral line. Unfortunately, it's unable to keep up. Likewise, though, Dark doing a great job here, just denying that gold time and time again. Finally, Dark backs off. And finally, GuMiho can saturate that base. Ooh, we can see Dark coming in first round. He's trying to hunt down these Hellions. And the Hellions, they do barely slip away. 2 Hellions make their way into the mineral line. They can roast up some drones, but it's only 2 Hellions. They get 3 drone kills, 5 drone kills. As GuMiho, he just sends his army across the map without even his medevacs. Just walks across, gets 2 Overlords. Did I say 2? Meant to say 3. 3 Overlords go down. Here. 4, oh my god, 4 Overlords even, supplied looking Dark. Aye. Finally, GuMiho, he has control of his gold base. He was able to mine from his pocket. His pocket base even, and he is now getting into his medevacs. Medevacs, they have arrived. Drop players hit the field. Dark having a hard time keeping up. As we're just dropping here on the army. Roaches, they come in to support. Good target firing here on the Marauder. Marauder goes down, but we get 9 drone kills. The drop, it's getting out of hand. The base is under control of GuMiho. The Overlords, the drones, the Queens, everything is falling here. This drop is getting out of hand. It's getting out of control. Getting 2 more Overlords towards the end. Across the map, we are denying mining time here at the gold. But these are some big losses for Dark. Losing another Overlord. Oh my god. We're just hunting. How many Overlords have we killed? Jesus. 10. 10 Overlord kills so far. We're gonna get more before the end of this game. But a very nice drop here out of GuMiho. Getting back into its gold mining. Tank is getting in position. The bio army is amassing. We have 2-2 on the horizon here. 2-2 just now starting up for Dark, so he does have the upgrade disadvantage. Dark, he's still trying to set up here on his Roach Ravager. Now, the downside of Dark's army composition is what we're seeing right now, is that Roach Ravager is very immobile. Like, Ling Bane is so much faster, Ling Bane Hydra, Ling Bane Muta, so much faster to rotate around to keep up with drop play. Dark, really he has to rely on anticipating movement, on being there ahead of time, pre-splitting his army, and also locking it down with these Infestors. Infestors, they complement Roaches very nicely to be able to fungal and lock down the bio army. Honestly, without Infestors, Roach Ravager would just get rolled over. Like, fungals are quite necessary here to support against Marines Marauders. But the Infestors, they're a little bit out of position. The army is coming. And Dark, he's not quite ready for this. Again, the Infestors are not here. Biles, they will connect on the Medivacs. There we go, Infestors are rotating over. We do need those fungals. Dark is holding on. We have to be careful not to overextend. Have to be careful not to move out. We do land a fungal here on the Medivacs. Oh, we get 2. But for the cost of an Infestor, that was a big loss. We're down to 2 Infestors. Show us the fungal. We are stepping in. Big fungal here in the army. Biles that connect once again on some of those Medivacs. But that may be all we have left. Yeah, no fungal growth. We're stimming on forward. The Roach Ravager trying to hold on here. Trying to hold on. The tank's barely out of range. Not really adding too much. As GuMiho is making his way through, breaking through the Roaches, getting on top of the Ravagers. Fungal does connect. You see the Roaches, we're running out of steam here for Dark. He's barely holding on. And GuMiho, here come the reinforcements. No letting up with the pressure. Pushing on even further. The Roach run by gets caught out as well, and the base will be broken. And GuMiho, he may just have too much. Hatchery will fall. Dark getting across the map to harass, but there's a tank in position. And from here, GuMiho can keep pushing. From here, we can either push towards the natural, with our Infestors, or towards the gold. Yeah, we're headed for the gold base. It's so vulnerable, so exposed. Yeah, we deny any kind of mining. Dark, he's down to 2 bases. He's down to 2 base mining. His 4th was denied. His 3rd is denied as well. Dark, he barely has an economy. Barely does have an economy. Yeah, another hatchery is going to be falling. Dark down to 2 bases. Ooh, does end up piling that tank. Very nicely done with these Ravagers. Dark moving out, going for a big counterattack. SCVs are falling. That's 15 dead workers. Dark double expanding. And where's GuMiho going? I mean, GuMiho is still maxed out. Like, GuMiho still has an overwhelming force. And Dark cannot contest against this. Not without, like, the most perfect fungal growths. Oh, we graze the army. It's okay. Bile takes down a Medivac. But Dark is still going to be a very tough defense. As GuMiho, he kills these southern bases. He's rotating around, and now he's going for the northern bases instead. Just containing Dark, starving him out. And this hatchery is going to be cancelled, and now we're going for the 3rd. Show us the fungals. Biles, they take down the tank. No, they miss. The tank survives. The base is going to go down. There's no stopping GuMiho. We take down an Infestor. And GuMiho is snowballing out of control. Even with good fungals, it's not enough. Not anymore. There's just too much Terran, too much man with gun. And Dark, he's being choked out. Even a couple of boys being pulled. Again, like, this fungal is good, but it doesn't matter. It's too little, too late. At the same time, we are going for a big Roach counterattack. We're getting damage done. But this main army can never be dealt with. As we manage to get 19 SCVs. Dark pushing forward. Gets a tank. Oof, yeah, he only gets a singular tank here. And again, he's doing a lot of damage across the map, which is impressive. The worker counts are evening up, but there's just nothing left here. There's 3 Infestors. That's all that Dark has left. And he cannot break that main. Meanwhile, GuMiho, he can do whatever he wants. GG gets called, and GuMiho takes a 2-1 lead in this series, taking down Dark with his bio, not with his mech. GG. Let's go. Let's go here. Again, GuMiho able to abuse Dark with his multi-prong aggression with his drop play. The Marine Marauder was doing so well for GuMiho, denying bases, killing workers, keeping Dark on the back foot, and Dark was just having such a hard time keeping up with the movement of GuMiho. GG. Again, really impressive stuff. And again, GuMiho shows us that he doesn't just have to rely on mech. You know, it isn't just about the mech here for GuMiho. He does enjoy it, don't get me wrong, and I mentioned before that GuMiho, he is probably the player most prone to playing mech amongst all the other pro gamers out there. But he can play bio damn well as well. Give him a man with gun. He can pop off, Poppy. He can pop off. Here we go. And now we're settling into game number 4, and GuMiho needs Unomas one more win here to win it all, to become this week's ESL Open Cup Asia champion. I think a lot of people were looking at Dark just because Dark took down Raynor, right? There's a lot of hype around Raynor traveling to Korea from Europe, and after Dark brought him down 2-0, there was a lot of hype around Dark as a consequence of that. But GuMiho is no slouch. He's not one to be taken lightly, and he is one game away from winning it all. The pressure is now on the Zerg player. Spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have our red South Korean Zerg player representing Talon Esports. He needs to win this game here and now to force the ace match. The pressure is on. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Cloud9. One game away from winning it all and becoming this week's champion. It is GuMiho. We go. As GuMiho has been popping up with a very, very unique style. Going CC first on Oceanborn. Oh my, he's crazy. Oh my god, okay. Not the first time we've seen CC first in this series, but typically we see it on post-youth, we see it on Dynasty, we see it on some of these other defendable maps. This is a greedy, bold move here from GuMiho on Oceanborn. Meanwhile, Dark is going Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Dark. GuMiho should be able to get away with this. Should be able to get away. Again, just a greedy opener. With this, GuMiho will not be SCV scouting. No SCV scout here. Getting into his racks, getting into the CC. And he may even just skip his Reaper as well. Here we go. And Oceanborn is going to be an interesting one. I do want to favor Dark's Roach play style on Oceanborn. Roach play can be quite successful here when it comes to breaking the third and breaking the fourth base locations. So I imagine Dark is going to be embracing his Roaches once again. But we'll see, as the Overlord Scout is going to confirm the timing of the command center. Dark, he does see that it's already done. He is now aware that it was a CC first. Behind this, GuMiho is going for his Reaper, thankfully. He's going for the Reaper. With this Reaper, is going to be scouting across the map, getting a read on what Dark is up to. As Dark has pulled out of gas, getting into link speed, we're not rushing into an early Roach Warren. We are going for a third. So standard game here out of Dark. GuMiho just cutting corners, getting into his factory setup, getting into his Atom Assault for Hellions. And we'll see if GuMiho does go for a starport before CC again. The answer is no, as that is a third CC before starport. Economic follow-up here out of GuMiho. Just greedy play overall by GuMiho this game. He's going for that third CC. Dark checking the front door, is unaware. What I like about what's happening here for GuMiho is that already in this series he's shown us 1-1-1 builds, so Dark is not actually fully aware of what's going on. He can't assume that it's going to be an economic build or not, just because of how GuMiho has been playing out this entire finals. We can see it's going to be the starport follow-up. Going for that tech lab. It is a little bit further away, so we might actually not see an add-on swap here. So it could just be 3cc into Liberator Harass or into a Viking. There it is. Viking is on the way. So no Banshees this time from GuMiho. No Banshees this time, as once again, you know what? GuMiho, he played Bio that one game, and now his quota has been filled, and now GuMiho, he can do what he wants, he can do what he likes, what he loves. His inner demon is coming out. It is Mech. 2 armories on the way. Double armory. We're soon going to be seeing additional factories as well. And we are going for a delayed add-on swap. We're going Viking first into what looks to be Banshees. Yeah, okay. You have my attention. We're getting into hidden Banshees. This is wild. So, Dark, he should be skipping his spores. Going Viking first is a tell that it's not Banshee because it's inefficient. Like, Banshee is going to be so late because of the Viking opener. So, Dark should be skipping his spores. Because of that, these Banshees could get a lot of damage done. They're going to hit later, but they're going to be unexpected. Meanwhile, behind this, 2 more factories on the way. The armory is kicking in with fast 1-1. Very fast upgrades. Viking is looking for some more overlords. And Dark is going for his lair. He's going Ling Bane. He's going lair first into his Baneling Nest. He's setting up for Ling Bane. He has no idea that it's mech. Not yet. Again, because the overlord was shut down, he's in the dark. Basically, Dark won't know what's happening until his lair is done. Then he can morph in an overseer that he can scout. Or if he's able to come across the army with his Lings. But Dark, he has to piece this together, as for the time being, he has no idea what GuMiho is doing. The Ling tries to slip in. Oh, spots Hellions, but not the biggest of tells. Seeing 8 Hellions here is, again, still quite along the lines of standard. We throw down a safety Roach Warren, though. Did allow the Baneling Nest to finish, but the Roach Warren is on the way. We're going for Thors. Wait, what? Show me the Medivacs. Show me the Medivacs. Thor drop. Let's go. We're going for a Thor drop. Oh my. Quanta, is that you? But I miss Quanta so much. Ay, ay, ay. Este Quanta, baby. But here we go. GuMiho is going for a double Thor drop. He's styling, papi. Oh my god. This looks like a Quanta variation. For those who don't know, Quanta is a Korean Terran player, and Quanta, he's known for a quadruple Thor drop that hits with 1-1. Actually, I think the quadruple Thor drop hits with 1-1 as well. That is like a very iconic Quanta build. And GuMiho is going for his own take on it. Now, Quanta, again, he goes for 4 Medivacs and 4 Thors. And we are continuing Thor production, but we're going out of the reactored Starport production, so only 2 Medivacs. Only 2 Medivacs. The Hellbats have been morphed in. Banelings are on the way. And here we go. GuMiho waddling in with Hellbat Thor. With a Banshee, with a bit of a kitchen sink. Viking has landed. Banelings are not done, but the Banelings are on the way, and they should be able to deal with all these Hellbats. And Banelings, they waddle in, they shut down a good chunk of Hellbats, but we have enough to keep on pushing. The Thors are zoning away those queens, and the Hellbats, they're getting into the mineral line. GuMiho, he is breaking through. Roaches are amassing. Thankfully, we do have roaches. If it wasn't for that, that may just be it here and now. Again, Hellions are trickling in across the map. Roaches, likewise, they're coming in to reinforce. Queens are going down. And it looks like we should have enough reinforcements here. Yeah, the Medivacs, they're falling one after the other. The Thors are exposed. And we will clean this up. But this was a pretty clutch push. Oh my god. Thors are going to be going down. We killed 7 drones. Again, if it was just Ling Bane, if there were no roaches, that's GG. Right, these roaches were able to deal with the remaining Hellbats. If there weren't roaches, then GuMiho wins the game here and now, and that's it. That's the series. Thankfully, Dark had the wherewithal to go into roach production, was able to survive, was able to hold on. But behind this, GuMiho, he's up in workers. He's got 80 SCVs, he's got a 4CC on the way, getting into Mass Thor. Behind this, Swarm Hosts are in production. Remember what we said earlier? Against a more traditional form of mech, I do like Swarm Hosts. Against, you know, Tank Hellion. Speaking of, that's what we're getting. Tank Hellion. It's going to be a more slower, robust form of mech here. Not as mobile, not as active as battle mech. Which means Swarm Hosts, they have their place. They have their uses here. We go for the scan. We don't get eyes on much. Nidus is on the way. Swarm Hosts are coming. As GuMiho is attempting to take us forth. And here we go. The Nidus does finish. How many Locusts do we have? So many Swarm Hosts? 7. 7 Swarm Hosts in total. Locust Wave making its way towards that mineral line. At the same time, we have Ling Roach on the left-hand side. We do get in. SCVs are going down. How many? 6 SCVs. Not bad. 6, 7 workers falling here. So pretty good damage dealt so far from Dark. You can see GuMiho is moving out. He wants to expand. Another Locust Wave is coming in. Another Locust Wave for that natural. Getting more workers at the same time. We collapse on this army. Oh, but we do have Hellbats. GuMiho, he does defend his third, but I can't say the same about his natural. 11 SCVs. 12 in total. Good damage dealt. As GuMiho is finally establishing this 4th base. It's very wide open, very exposed here as 4th bases go. Nidus is shut down. Dark this time committing. He does commit. He dives on the army, goes straight for the tanks, and he will manage to get a handful of them. 1, 2 tanks go down. Ooh, but only 2 tanks. That was an overextension. Dark bleeding out a lot, bleeding out too much. And GuMiho is snowballing out of control. His army is amassing. With Thors, with tanks, now mixing in some Cyclones. And Dark is in some trouble. Because now we're going for a counterattack, and I believe the Swarm Hosts are on cooldown. The Swarm Hosts, they need a little bit more time to reset. To send out their Locust Wave. GuMiho is backing off. He scans, he sees the army, doesn't like what he sees. GuMiho does retreat. He's working towards 3-3. His 4th base is getting up. Dark has maxed out. It looks like GuMiho wants to try to absorb an attack. Absorb a push first before moving. There we go. Locust Wave is moving out once again. Going for the 4th. He's being spotted. We are in position. And we try to dive on the Thor, but we don't get anything. Good defense there by GuMiho. Good cleanup. Nidus does finish. Dark still poised to attack. I think GuMiho realized, hold up, you don't have anti-air. Let me just A move with this Banshee. Yeah, let's go. Queens are gonna have to rotate over. Banshee is gonna be pulled back. Dark does end up catching. Sorry, GuMiho does end up catching some roaches here towards the left hand side. Does manage to catch him, and here we go. GuMiho moving out here. He's getting caught out though. Again, only moving out with his battle mech army, leaving his tanks and Thors back at home. So GuMiho, he only intends to poke in, doesn't intend to commit. 3-3 is finishing. Meanwhile, Dark, he's been able to stabilize, he's been able to get up to 70 workers. Hive is done, Ultra's on the way, Spire as well. The tech is looking good for Dark, but he doesn't have a large bank. Doesn't have a lot of gas to work with. This is still anyone's game, to be honest. This is still very clutch, very close. GuMiho taking another base. Locust Wave is coming in. Thors are in position. We can maybe get a tank. We get a Cyclone, and we manage to get 1 tank as well. Not the best trades. I mean, I guess we're trading energy or free units, so it's better than nothing for Dark. Was hoping for more. At the same time, the battle mech is getting called out. Ooh, a big choke point here. Files do connect. A good catch there by Dark. What does he get? 9 Cyclones. Gets 9 Cyclones. Meanwhile, the Thors, they're finally moving out. Pushing on the right-hand side. Dark rotates over with his Roach Ravager. But GuMiho, he gets here in time. Locust Wave is on cooldown in this space. It's going to go down. We're catching a couple of Queens. Dark, he knows he cannot push into this, so he's going for a big counterattack instead. Gets a tank. Does manage to get a tank. Does force back the army. Dark did lose the hatchery. Meanwhile, across the map, he's looking to deny that 5th. 5th is getting low. Do we have a scan? Oh, these 2 Lings are going ham. They're cracked. The Cracklings, they get 8 SCVs. Oh, a bit of a messy fight here from GuMiho, bleeding out some Thors. Planetary is getting up and running. Another Locust Wave. This time, we don't have as many Thors, though. And we catch the tanks. Good catch here from Dark. Does manage to get 2 tanks. Finally getting some good value here. Army is pushing. That one Banshee from the start of the game, still doing what it can. Let's go. We do see GuMiho, he is being stopped. I mean, once again, he's denying top right. He's denying bases, but Dark, instead, he expands towards the center. Unable to get the space up and running, though. Unable to get that base. Oh, Swarmhost finally goes down as well. Locust Wave does get intercepted. That Banshee doing so much here. This one Banshee's been the MVP. Denying mining time. Dark double expanding. Trying desperately to get a base up and running here. Oh, Swarmhost get caught out once again. Yeah, we're going for the base. The Banshee's still alive. Hatcheries are going down, both on the left and right hand side. GuMiho is in control. Catches out some Roach Ravager. We can see Dark trying to harass. But we have gotten into battle cruisers. Ship weapons have been slowly building up here over time. We have +1, soon to be +2 ship weapons, and we have BCs. We do get a base. We do get an orbital. The Swarmers are getting caught out. Forcing scans. Expensive losses here for Dark. And is he ready here for BCs? We do have some Corruptors. That is true. But these are 0-0 Corruptors. Again, they're not ideal. They're not ready for battle cruisers. BCs, they find another base. And we're just starving Dark out. Dark, he's just being starved out here. I mean, yes, Dark does have a bank, but he needs a base. He's been stuck on 4 bases for the entirety of this game. GuMiho is getting a 6th. To put that into context, that's a kill, not a cancel. But GuMiho is getting into 6 bases, while Dark is stuck on 4. And here we go. Dark, he wants to commit. He's able to catch out quite a bit of this army. There's too many Corruptors, though. That's a lot of supplying Corruptors, and the Cyclones, they're going ham, chasing this down. Corruptors, they do find some of these BCs. But these are expensive losses here for Dark. And does he have a Greater Spire? He does. He can go into Broodlords. He most likely should go into Broodlords from here. And he's on 12 Corruptors. Pulling back. +1 air attack is on the way. Dark desperately trying to expand. Going for another base. If you're curious as to how Dark has been able to survive on 4 bases this entire time, it's because he's been able to retain and gain value with his Swarmhost, like free units basically, so he's been quite efficient. But that is changing. Dark has been taking some more expensive losses as of late. As we're seeing here. Corruptors are turning back around. No Broodlords yet. Meanwhile, GuMiho is working on Yamato, working on +3 ship weapons. Good fungal. Fungal on some of these Cyclones. But alas, Darky's still up against the wall. Going for a rich counterattack here at the planetary. Whilst they graze the Cyclones, but the tanks are slowly leapfrogging forward. We're getting within range here of the bases. Finally, Brood Lords are on the way. Is that going to be enough? Can Dark survive? Investors are running out of energy. BCs are coming in. And show us the Yamato. Big Yamatos on these Corruptors, and we get knocked down to 2 Corruptors. GG gets called. There's not enough anti-air. The BCs, they snowball out of control, and GuMiho will take the series 3-1, taking down Dark and becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Asia champion. GG. GuMiho flexing his mech here tonight, and what's important is that every single time GuMiho played mech, it was a different flavor of mech, right? We saw some heavy Cyclone style of mech on Post Youth. We saw a more varied style on Side Delta with Cloak Banshee, with Mass Cloak Banshee instead, then transitioning into a Battle Mech style. Here, we went for a Thor drop, went for a Hellbat Thor push instead, going for something a little bit more traditional and less intensive on those Cyclones, at least for the first half. And yeah, I mean, that's the power of GuMiho. He's so creative, he's so varied here with his playstyle in general, not just with mech, but in every matchup. And GuMiho was able to come out on top here, did overwhelm, and GG. Congratulations, GuMiho is this week's champion. GG, well played. Very well done here with that. Dark, he bows out in second place, but this was still an amazing tournament. This was still an amazing bracket that we had as well. We had players like Björn, we had Hero, we had Classic, we had Rogue, we even had Rainer, who has been traveling and has been visiting Korea as of late. It's been great to see all these players come together. Again, the quality of play in ESL Asia it's the best of the best. The best of the best here. Very little fat, very few, like, again, the caliber of player here is just insane, more so than the other regions. The other regions, they have the quantity. You know, ESL Americas and ESL Europe, they have huge brackets. You know, round of 64, round of 128, like massive brackets here. Here in Asia, smaller brackets, but the quality of play, it's beautiful. It's amazing. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're halfway through the night. We are halfway through the broadcast here. Oh my god, 5-hour cast. This was insane. Didn't even feel like that long. But we've been going at it here for 5 hours, and we are not done. Nowhere near. Up next, we're going to be going on a short break. I say a short break. We're going to be going on like a 15-minute break, something like that. I would like to eat some food. I would like to eat some food, and we're going to be going on a break. When we return, WTL, World Team League. We were covering the qualifiers last week. The qualifiers have concluded, and WTL World Team League Code A begins tonight. It began tonight. It began a couple of hours ago during the semifinals, and we said at the time that we're going to be focusing on ESL Asia. We have wrapped up ESL Asia, and now we're going to catch up on what happened in World Team League. Now, this is going to be a replay cast. We do have access to the clean feed, of course, and these games that we're going to be casting are like 2 hours old, so how dare we? You know, how dare we get these 2-hour-old replays? But we are going to be diving into this, and again, these I guess you could spoil yourself. Be careful with spoilers. You know, I believe the Wikipedia has already been updated with today's WTL matches and with the results. But we are going to be catching up ourselves. I'm going to be avoiding spoilers and avoiding Wikipedia, and we're going to be catching up on the events that occurred a couple of hours ago during ESL Asia with World Team League. Oh boy, it is going to be a lot of good fun. A lot of good fun, I'm sure. So, yeah, before that, though, we're going to be going on an extended break for like 15 or 20 minutes. Again, I need some food. I need some sustenance here. It's been 5 hours. I have not had dinner. It is almost midnight here in Australia. So I'm going to quickly get some food, and then bam, right back into some World Team League action. So stick around if you are unsatiated, if you want some more StarCraft action, if you need some more StarCraft inside you, then we got you covered in a couple of minutes. Until then, though, we're going to be going on a short break. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thanks so much, everyone, for the support as well. We were able to get some subs. You know, big shout out to Dally for the 71-month resub. Big shout out, big support. And yeah, with that, we are gonna be heading off here for the time being, going for an extended break. Thank you so much for everything. If you want to support us, you can support us on Patreon, !Patreon in the chat, and you can get you can support us there. You can get some benefits like replay packs as well. We do send out replay packs to our patrons or to our subscribers. We do cast StarCraft on a daily basis. I do apologize because for the past 2 weeks I have been casting on a daily basis, but I've been casting less than normal. Instead of like 2-3 broadcasts a day, it's been 1 a day. Sometimes you miss a day here or there. I do apologize for that. Again, I've been under the weather, but I'm getting better. I'm getting stronger. I'm recovering from the COVID, and we're going to be able to get back to our regular broadcasting schedule without too much issue. We're getting back to non-stop casting. It's happening. It's happening. Looking forward to it. Otherwise, again, we're going to be going on that short break. Again, you can follow us on Patreon, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. Socials all over the place. ! Socials in the chat. And yeah, we're going to be back soon, right after we get some food. Until then, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed EPT. We'll see you for WTL.